Welcome, SonicWall team. So Matt Horton and I here support the NorCal, and we're going to go over a quick little intro video in terms of our go-to and interaction we have with our channel partners. And with that being said, we're excited to bring in a short moment, Cam and Kenna's most excellent IT. With that is going to be portrayed by Matt Horton himself. So we'll kind of go through a couple of the questions and some of the highlights of selling managed security through solutions granted technology. So give us a few to tee it up and we'll be right there. So let's act like as if we're ringing.
Sounds good.
Hey, welcome, Matt Horton. How you doing, my friend?
Not too bad, Chris. How we doing today?
Good. Hey, so you're from Cam and Kenna's most excellent IT. Where are you guys based out of?
We're based out of Northern California, but I'm remote up in Canada, where it is nice and freezing.
Well, do me a favor. If you guys can let us borrow some hockey players. Sounds like Sharks still don't have a really good team. We keep trading away all our players. But with that being said, I'm sure you know what's going on up in Canada. And you got good beer.
Oh, 100%. I love everything about Canada.
That's awesome. So, hey, thanks for taking my meeting. On tap, I don't know if you've heard, well, you kind of got a little bit of my intro email. We've had a recent acquisition here to the SonicWall portfolio. I know you know us mostly for firewalls, but we're really excited to offer our managed security services. I want to talk to you a little, that'd be kind of interesting, but talk to you a little bit about the scenario and what we can offer. So hopefully HR is not watching this, but yeah. So if you got a couple minutes now, will it work?
Yeah, I got a couple minutes, man.
All right, great. So yeah, as I said, we're gonna go into a little scenario, having a conversation about what's unique and what's different, and how we can work with partners such as yourself. And I'm really excited to kind of have a conversation with you. So, hey, tell me a little bit. How many technical guys are within your environment currently today?
We have 5 dedicated technical people with us right now.
Yeah, are you tending to have them complain to you a little bit, saying, "Hey, it's hard to take in all these alerts and notifications that are coming in through the RMM tool, and then what are they? A lot of false alerts, et cetera." What are you hearing from that scenario?
It's a hot cup of sadness, to be honest. It's something that we've been talking about. We've been looking into MDR SOC services just to kind of get rid of that problem, because it is a giant headache.
You have been. Okay, that's good to know. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. So that's great. So what's your overall feeling? Are you pretty comfortable in terms of the different terminology of what's going out there in the MDR world? You kind of seen a little bit on my screen here today. Just want to gauge your sense of knowledge.
Pretty familiar. SIM is, I've heard of it, not too sure about it though.
Okay. So on the MDR front, we'll get into that. I'll talk to you. So let's just jump into it right now. Are you providing an endpoint security solution for your clients today?
Currently, right now, we use Bitdefender.
You're using Bitdefender. And how many endpoints are you managing?
We have over 8,000.
You got over 8,000. Okay, I should have talked to you last month then. Oh man, you guys are a big organization. That's great. So I'm assuming right now you're probably providing just a traditional next generation antivirus through Bitdefender, and if anything, you guys aren't being able to analyze all those logs, et cetera, sys logs, et cetera, that are coming in. Would that be a correct assumption?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this is where we can come into play, right? You said you only have 5 IT engineers. They probably don't have a lot of time to do all the analyzing 24/7, 365 days a year. And that's where we can come into play. We're offering a true MSP service to our MSP partners, right? We are not having any conversations directly with your 8,000 end user customers, but we're going to offload that. And to answer your question and just getting back to some of these concepts here, right? That's where the MDR process comes in. It takes that next generation AV technology to the next level. Think of it this way. I always like comparing things and simplifying things these days, right? I'm in a house right now. What are your security services in a house? You got a front door with a lock. You've probably got a garage door. Those are all great. Think of that in comparison as the AV. We are keeping those intruders out, right? But what happens if somebody comes in, kicks the door, tries to bang in? After a while, they're going to figure a way into your house if they really want to get into your house, right? Now you've got security services such as ADT or other monitoring systems that are coming into play here. Those services have the ability to kind of go in, monitor, hey, by the way, Matt, somebody's kicking your front door. Oh, hey, by the way, Matt, we're noticing some smoke detectors going off, or we're seeing the windows open, or we're seeing some unusual behavior and activity. Just as, and if you're not at home, it'll be really nice for a third-party agency to be able to alert you so that you know to pick up the camera, go home, take some sort of some sort of initiative to go ahead and correspond to that alert, right? Very similar to what MDR is going to do in the hypothetical world here. We're going to be able to do the same thing, monitor all your endpoints, and be able to go through all those logs and be able to analyze that and provide you, the MSP, with updates in real time. If it's a low critical environment, hey, we'll just send you an email. If it's critical, we're actually going to pick up the telephone and make a proactive phone call to you and say, hey, we're monitoring some suspicious, unusual activity. You may want to go have some conversations. We've already taken steps from a remediation standpoint, but here's what we recommend. Does that kind of help you out a little bit?
Yeah, that actually sounds right up the alley of what we're looking to invest in.
Okay, great. Now, in staying with the MDR, we'll jump to the SOC and SIEM here in a second. You had mentioned you've got about 8,000 endpoints. Well, I always like to ask too, is like, who are you using from an RMM standpoint?
From an RMM standpoint, if I remember correctly, it's SentinelOne.
That'd be the endpoint, but for probably you're probably using ConnectWise or
ConnectWise. There we go. ConnectWise.
Yeah, great. Right, you're getting all those alerts coming in and ConnectWise, creating a million tickets. Let's burden that from your staff and be able to kind of help you out in that standpoint. So that's good to know. So if we're jumping back into the last summary here from a SOC as a service, right? Now you've got the endpoints. We kind of discussed how we can assist you from monitoring that. But in the bigger picture, and I'll touch on in a second, you've got a ton of network security appliances, whether they're SonicWall firewalls, switches, access points, servers, etc. If we have the ability to help you assist and monitor all the activities and logs from that perspective, would that kind of offload some burden from you as well?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, cool. So let's kind of jump forward here. I won't take up too much more time, but from a high level, from an MDR, key benefits of what we can provide for SonicWall is number one, 24/7. We just talked about it. Real eyes on glass, monitoring it. And again, there's no minimum contracts. That's the beauty of it. If you said, hey, we're interested and I want to go out and do a POC, we can do a 15-day POC for you. And if you don't like it, that's okay. We'll move on from that. But we're gonna definitely work our best to make sure that you're impressed with the solution and the services that you're getting. It's like evaluating a car, right? You're just not going to go buy a car off a lot without being able to drive it. And that's the services that we're going to provide to you as well from that area.
That'll be huge for us because we won't invest in anything if we can't try it out first.
Yeah, definitely. And then again, from an MDR perspective, as you're seeing on the screen, not only are we going to provide you that next gen AV, but the important piece is the endpoint monitoring, right? Looking at the unusual behaviors. Hey, Matt, I see one of your end user clients, supposed to be in Canada, but it looks like they're showing up and bouncing from Colombia over to Mexico. You may need to quarantine those and provide you those remediation and services and be your frontline security. So you don't have to have those 5 engineers always continue monitoring all the logging activities. So that's from the MDR standpoint. And from a pricing standpoint, we've got 4 go-to market opportunities. I know you had mentioned that I think you had said you were doing SentinelOne. So by the way, it's an easy rollover. If you're comfortable with SentinelOne, we offer SentinelOne with the MDR package. I don't know if you're familiar, but SonicWall offers our own Capture client, which is both the SentinelOne packaging along with our Capture Threat Security Center. So it's kind of a dual layer. And then we are one of the largest silence endpoint services as well. And then there's a lot of people, a lot of small business customers that are out there here in NorCal that are just relying on the free, Microsoft Defenders. We do have the ability to monitor that as well. And you see on the bottom, from a cost price standpoint, it goes anywhere from a couple of dollars up to $5 per endpoint. So pretty attractive pricing. How's that look to you?
It doesn't look bad. It looks good compared to some of the stuff I've seen from the competitors.
Okay, great. And then again, we had talked about why MDR, but in addition, keep this in mind as well. Not only can we do the endpoints, but also monitoring the cloud. Most companies have moved to the cloud with email, server appliances, and so we've got a very cost-affordable solution, probably starting around $1.50 per server from that standpoint to monitor your mailboxes, et cetera. So just want to make sure you are aware that solution was available today. And then lastly, we had talked about SOC as a service, right? You guys are great. You're selling SonicWall firewalls. I'm going to do my best to kind of get you to sell the full solution line from both wireless and APs and switches as well. But keep in mind, just because they don't have Nest doesn't mean we can't monitor that network for you. So if you do have an infrastructure with Cisco from a switching perspective, HP, Aruba, Cisco, Meraki, Ubiquiti, we do offer a service where we can monitor all those logs, monitor all those network security appliances out in the marketplace, be able to analyze, digest that messaging, and then be able to provide you with that same sort of SOC as a service alerts and remediation skills as well. So again, it's a dedicated phone line. If it's a low to medium, more than likely just send you some emails, say, hey, this is what we've seen, this is what we did, this is what we recommend. If it's a critical one, we're immediately going to pick up that phone to your dedicated individual and say, hey guys, you got an urgent one, tier 1 problem, you should probably go remediate it. If it's not a SonicWall appliance, we're going to give you our best scenario in terms of how to remediate that, and then allow you as a subject matter experts to contact your customer from that perspective. So again, this is kind of the overall mapping. We offer a full end-to-end solution for your managed services here, from all the way from MDR into the cloud, as well as SOC as a services. And again, we are 100% working with you as an MSP. We do not want to have the conversation with your customer. That's your relationship. You've built as a trusted advisor for them, and that's the way that it will approach this. All right.
That's perfect to me. We don't want you guys reaching out to our people.
Yeah, exactly. So if this sounds good, I think the next steps here would be, I got some information, 8,000 endpoints. You're using SentinelOne. You're using ConnectWise. I can get you in touch with our subject matter experts on the cloud side. And if that's good, want to grab a couple times on your calendar that work out the best for you, and set up probably no more than 30 minutes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's get that set up.
All right. Well, let's do that. I will go ahead and get that on the calendar. And so you'll be seeing an email from me. Any other last minute questions?
No, can you make sure to forward the invite to my people, Cam and Kenna? They'll be interested in jumping in on this call as well.
Yeah, it's very important. You may need to follow up with them 3 times because they're not very responsive these days.
Especially Cam, my God.
Yeah, so we'll make sure to make that happen. So, hey, good. Matt, I appreciate you taking the time. We'll get that meeting set up, and we'll talk to you in next week. Thanks, my friend.
All right, thanks, Chris. We'll talk soon.
All right, take care. Bye.